When you're experiencing severe anxiety like this, it's like you're living in a trench. It's like you are a level down from everything and everyone else, and you have no perspective and you're unable to see the world clearly. Hey, I'm Luke from the New Adam Project, and today is Real Talk. Well, hopefully every day is Real Talk, but today is really real talk. But it's because I want to share 4 ways that the Psalms were an absolute lifeline to me during an extended season of severe anxiety. Before going any further, I want to say that anxiety in the Christian life is real and it can be devastating. And if that's your experience right now, if that's why you clicked this video, my heart absolutely and sincerely goes out to you. Outside of my own experience and over the years with students, I've learned just how common this is. And one of the best things that I've learned you can do is talk about it. So in this video, here's what I'm going to do. I'm first going to share a bit about my experience in battle with anxiety in hopes that it might be helpful to you. I know how helpful it was to me when I heard from people or just heard people talk about their anxiety who could relate to the experience. And then I'm going to share the 4 ways that the Psalms were so helpful. So if you want to skip past my story and just go to the Psalms and the ways that they were helpful, go ahead and just skip ahead and do that. But I just want to be clear before starting that I'm not promising that this is a quick fix or some kind of silver bullet for anxiety. But I do believe that what I'm going to share is one of the avenues that God really used to comfort me, to be near to me, to hold me near, and to work in my life through anxiety. Anxiety comes in different forms and has different causes. And in my case, it was health-related anxiety. And it was caused by what I would later learn was a really irresponsible and over-the-top emergency response by a doctor to a routine issue that ultimately turned out to be nothing. But upon checking me out, the doctor became very concerned, and I was literally sent for blood testing for literally every blood test the doctor could think of to test for, and a same-day high-priority CT scan, and the whole works. By the time all the test results came back, which they all came back clear, thankfully, but the damage was done. I had been sent in that day based on that doctor's concern by the warnings that I was given on a massive tailspin that would take nearly a couple of years to come through. Even when all the test results came back clear, the doctor still warned me to be vigilant. And it just sent me on a tailspin. Honestly, if it hadn't been this, it probably would have been something else. As looking back, I realized that I was primed for some kind of breakdown just with the stress of life. I just finished a PhD. I just moved back from overseas from another country and then moved to a new city with our young family to start a new job. 2 weeks after arriving in this new city, we had another child early under very stressful circumstances. And in this brand new city, we had a 6-week NICU stay for our son. So all of that was going on. And I think because of it, I was just a ticking time bomb. So a lot of times there is a trail that can help us understand the anxiety. But when it all went down, regardless of how it came about, when it all went down, it pulled all of me down with it, like in a series of hours, it seems. When you're experiencing severe anxiety like this, it's like you're living in a trench. It's like you are a level down from everything and everyone else, and you have no perspective and you're unable to see the world clearly. It's like you're mentally living in a world beneath the world where everything is in gray or it's in 2D. It's out of focus somehow. Emotionally, it's like you can't be fully happy because you have this doomful thought in the back of your mind at all times. Because of this, relationally, you feel distant from everyone else. You feel disconnected in some ways because your mind is honed in on your particular issue, which in my case was what I was sure was my imminent demise. Because everything is going on normally around you, though, you feel kind of crazy. You wonder if people realize that, at least in your mind, you're falling apart. Maybe even dying right now. Like, oh, you want to talk about the fact the printer isn't working? Do you even know that I'm dying right now? Those were thoughts that I had all the time. Anxiety is brutal. I remember one day at my absolute height, I just pulled into the driveway after work. It was a hot day in Phoenix, a super hot day. I was just torn to pieces. Inside, I was just a mess. I remember thinking, just looking at the yard, I thought, man, what if I would just go and lay down under those trees in the shade? That wouldn't be that bad of a way to go, right? I just remember having that thought. I was never actually suicidal or anything like that, but anxiety was the most brutal thing I'd ever experienced. And during this time, which again for me was just under 2 years, the anxiety was debilitating. In that time, I did pick up one routine that over time became helpful, and it was walking with the Psalms every day. So with a bit of my story, now I want to tell you 4 of the ways that the Psalms offered me an absolute lifeline. And the first one's that they gave me words. When I felt disconnected or crazy or insane, like I was dying or like no one understood, I came to find that the Psalms understood. See, Martin Luther wrote that the Psalter is the book of all saints, and everyone, in whatever situation he may be, finds in that situation psalms and words that fit his case, that suit him as if they were put there just for his sake, so that he could not put it better himself or find or wish for anything better. Man, isn't that great? The Psalms gave me words, for example, during my fear. From Psalm 61, hear my cry, O God, listen to my prayer. From the end of the earth I call to you when my heart is faint. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I. They gave me words during my duress. From Psalm 102, hear my prayer, O Lord, let my cry come to you. Do not hide your face from me in the day of distress. Incline your ear to me and answer me speedily when I call, for my days pass away like smoke and my bones burn like a furnace. They gave me words during my anger. From Psalm 89, how long, O Lord, will you hide yourself? Will you hide yourself forever? How long will your wrath burn like fire? Remember how short my time is, for what vanity you have created, all the children of men. They also gave me words at times when I needed to be brave. Psalm 91 became an absolute favorite. For he will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the deadly pestilence. You will not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the destruction that wastes at noonday. They also gave me words just to be hopeful. Psalm 57, be merciful to me, O God. Be merciful to me, for in you my soul takes refuge. In the shadow of your wings I will take refuge till the storms of destruction pass by. The Psalms gave me words when I didn't have any. They became my prayers when it was too hard to pray. Second, from this, the Psalms offered me perspective. The perspective that became my second lifeline. I was so very much in need of perspective when I was in the trench and could not see. For example, they gave me reminders of who God is, a God who hears. From Psalm 40, I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined to me and heard my cry. He drew me up from the pit of destruction and out of the miry bog. They reminded me that God is near. Psalm 46, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth gives away, though the mountains be moved into the heart of the sea. The Psalms reminded me that God is good. Psalm 34, 8, oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who takes refuge in him. The Psalms gave me perspective, and from this, thirdly, they offered me encouragement. The Psalms kept me Godward oriented in the midst of my ongoing anxiety and struggle. They kept me trusting. They kept me moving forward. They instilled in me a belief that with God there was eventually, even when I couldn't see it, going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. And fourth, as I mentioned before, the Psalms became for me a really crucial part of my routine, because every day I would go and walk with the Psalms in a parking garage of all places. Sometimes in Phoenix in 115-degree heat, I would walk in this parking garage. And and I would just read them aloud, and I would pray them aloud. And they offered me constant and daily access to the words and the reminders and the encouragement that I needed. The Psalms were integral, absolutely integral to the development of my faith in the midst of this time of suffering. So if you're in a season of anxiety, maybe anxiety has been a part of your life for as long as you can remember, my encouragement in this video would be to lean on the gift of the Psalms. Now, there's one psalm in particular that I have turned to over and over again on the really bad days, both before, during, and after the anxiety. I turn to it for comfort and perspective. It always reorients me, and I want to share about that psalm in particular and what we can glean from it that's helpful in the next video. So if you're interested in that, check out this video right here. And if it's there, click it. If it's not, it's coming soon, but I'll see you in there. And again, if you're in anxiety, my heart goes out to you. Lean on the Psalms.